Let me welcome on my guest, Kevin. Good morning.
Morning, Sky. How are you?
I'm good. Kevin, you got the best radio voice, by the way. You should go.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
um, Kevin, you don't mind, give everyone just a little quick introduction about who you are, a little bit about what you do, and then we'll get going with our morning here.
Kevin Friend. Good morning, everyone. I am a real estate advisor in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. We have a small team, the Friend Group. I think we do a spectacular job, but I'm biased. I was born in DC. I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, and couldn't wait to get back to DC. So I've been here most of my life here in New York. Graduated from Georgetown University. Got my MBA in finance after I went to undergrad, and I also have a master's in health administration. So
Nice.
I guess you can't say I'm afraid to go to school. I've been actually doing real estate since 2017 in January. And maybe we'll get into this, maybe we won't, but I left very successful management consulting career. I needed to love something. I needed to be passionate about something. And I found that real estate was it. And I've been at Compass since December of last year, 2021. It's an amazing place. This group has given me a lot of not just positive energy, but enabled me to continue to hold myself and our team accountable.
Nice.
And I met some really, really, really good people through this group. And yeah, what else you want to know? Father of four. So I think that's my why. Everybody wants to know what their why is.
Yeah.
That's my why. I love it, and it drives me.
Awesome, man. What's your word of the month?
Grace.
Awesome. Give it why? What's the background on that one?
I'm really hard on myself, as I'm sure we all are. Probably our biggest critic, and I always think about what I should be doing, how I should accomplish something, what milestones we didn't hit, what's left on my to-do list. And I finally, this month, decided to just take a step back and just appreciate the journey and appreciate the grind. And I like to say one day at a time. And so I think grace level sets me and just enables me to say, hey, we had a great day today. Let's relish in it. Let's disconnect, recharge. And if we're blessed enough to get up tomorrow morning, let's start it over again.
Yeah, I love that, man. It's great. I think it's such a common trait with realtors too. It's like we're so drawn to like what we didn't get to, what we should have done, or that was a great idea I heard in a training and I didn't do it. Like, where do you think for you, I mean, I don't want to comment on all realtors, but for you, where do you think that comes from? Like, what's the background on that? Do you know? Have you ever dug into it?
I think for me, I've always been an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I didn't actually grow up knowing what that was. My mom was an educator. She taught college. She was a dean of the U.S. Army Signal School. So she was really big on education, big on learning, big on bringing something tangible to the table that can't be taken away. And for her, that was education.
Yeah.
For me, going to school and learning, I always thought like, I was going to be a partner in a top firm, right? That was success to me, and that was my path. And I just wasn't happy. I did well, but I wasn't happy. And so I think for me, where it came from is just wanting to challenge myself. I think it's rooted in my start in athletics, and always being competitive, always pushing myself to my limits. And I think that's where it comes from for
Yeah.
me. Just it's
Yeah.
being able to depend on yourself, right? So I
Yeah.
think it's just rooted in being an entrepreneurial
Yeah.
mindset.
I think it starts with the athletics too, to an extent, right? Because you don't remember your wins really. You remember your losses, or I do at least, right? You don't remember like all the wins for the most part, unless maybe you won like some big game or championship or something like that. For me, I always remember my losses. And so give us a little bit on your athletic background, just so everyone knows. I'm wearing my Syracuse colors because Kevin went to Georgetown. So Syracuse, Georgetown, huge rivalry. So I had to display the colors today. So, but
Well, you see, I'm wearing my Georgetown
you
blue.
are,
I
yeah, you
always,
got
for those who don't know me, I always have something blue on every single day. I always have something gray on every single day. But typically it's under the black.
yeah.
But yeah, I think growing up, I started playing basketball when I was 5. I think once I picked it up, I was just in love. It was something where my inner competitiveness or my inner competitive nature was just it flourished. Between those lines, I'm what some might say a different person. Extremely competitive, extremely vocal, extremely just energetic, and it enabled me to do or accomplish a lot that I never would have thought of otherwise.
Yeah.
I played in high school, I played in college. It was amazing, but also the most incredibly sad experience. I think when you have a goal and you set it and you work and you work and you work and you don't necessarily attain it
Yeah.
or what you think it to be, it can be a little disappointing or disconcerting. But I think my takeaway is it really prepared me for the career that I love. It prepared me for this business.
Yep.
There's no day that I get up where I'm like, man, what am I going to do today? Or I can't believe, we don't have any deals today. Or
Yeah.
it's always I come from a place of abundance. I will talk to anyone at any time. Like it doesn't matter where I am.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, I probably just, hey, how you doing? I'm Kevin. Where are you from? Like to everybody. Like
Yeah.
it didn't matter. And I think that is instilled in sort of the confidence that you have when you have to depend on yourself to do the work. And I think we all each day have to do the work. If I don't do the work, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Same happens with my experience in basketball. If I didn't do the drills, if I didn't keep my body healthy, if I didn't get my rest, couldn't have been successful.
Great. What's tell me about, because did you walk on to Georgetown or did you tell me
Yeah,
about that, man?
so
That's gotta be a good story, right? Because
I played for the high school, Bloomington North, which is Indiana University's basically their high school.
Yeah.
And so Coach Knight was the coach at the time. I played with his son. He was always at practice. One day after practice, I saw him talking to coach and I was like, why is he staying after practice? And so lo and behold, he wanted to recruit me. I got an offer from Georgia Tech. So Bobby Cremins also wanted to recruit me. And I wanted to go to Duke. But in my mind, I was a DC guy and I wanted to go to DC. Like, what better school in DC than Georgetown to go to?
Yeah.
It ended up being the only school that I applied to. I was told by coach that I could walk on, and I had no idea walk on, not walk on, scholarship player. Didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. So I think the story itself on the surface is a really cool anecdote, but personally, it was like incredibly hard. It was incredibly challenging for me because I had goals of just playing, right? and I never played.
Yeah.
I had goals of hoisting the trophy up, and I rarely ever suited. I was basically a glorified practice player. I mean, I was in the gym at all the time. I got a chance to practice, but I just wasn't a scholarship player
Yeah.
because I was there academically. And I'm not sure how much most of you know about college athletics, but when you're paying for kids to be at a place or a school for a sport, they're going to play, right? And if they don't play, then it's a reflection on the recruiting or the coach. Like, how did you miss this kid? How is this kid better than all the guys that you have? So it was an interesting experience. It
Yeah.
taught me a lot about myself. It taught me a lot about stick-to-itiveness and grit. It's definitely beneficial to me today. And I think what I realized was that I don't quit, right? But that if you work hard enough and long enough, others that you may be in your mind competing with will.
Yeah.
So that's when, the windfall of all your efforts manifest themselves. And
Yeah.
that's sort of the positive perspective that I keep on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's great, man. I love that. And I think athletics too, it's like the balancing as a Division I athlete, right? It's like the balancing of, sports, like you're basically full-time, like that's full-time, going to class and doing everything academically. Like it's crazy balance to try to make everything work in that 4 years and all your friends are going out and doing the college thing, and you're like, I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. and go get weight room time, so
I was
it's
also really young. I went to college when I was 16. And so there was no drinking for me. There was no partying for me. Like, it was like the gym and my apartment. Like, that's all I did until I was probably a junior.
yeah.
Uh, Nobody was like, they were like, dude, do you do anything but study or
Yeah.
pick up the ball?
Yeah, that's
I
great.
didn't. It was
That's funny,
interesting.
man. That's great. That's young to be in college for sure. So tell me about your transition. So you graduated, you got some degrees, and you're working corporate, I'm assuming, like your healthcare
Yeah, corporate
corporate job.
consulting, management
And then
consulting.
tell me about the 2017, like, like how did you make the jump into real estate? And what was that like?
So I was in Connecticut. I was managing a big PeopleSoft implementation, and it was a global project. 3 a.m. in the morning, much like some of my mornings now. I don't know. I thought I was getting away from that, but preparing for a big meeting. My daughter had just been born, and so I had like a week of leave, right, which also was on my mind. But I'd gone back and we'd had this huge preparation. It was months and months and months of this go live, and we had the executive group was coming from abroad to see what the package looked like. And I got a call 3 a.m. I got a call from home. It was like, I need you to come home. Like, this is incredibly challenging. I can't do this. Right. So,
From your wife, by the
yeah,
like, yeah,
well,
okay. Yeah,
it
just
was
so
my girlfriend at the
your
time.
girlfriend.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm coming home on Thursday. I come home every Thursday. Like, yeah, I'll be home. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And like, I could hear the tone. It was just like, no, this was a little more serious.
Yeah.
So fast forward to 7 o'clock, and I got a call from the CEO's chief of staff. Well, I know we're supposed to have this meeting at 9, but we're gonna punt it. And I was like, what do you mean we're gonna punt it? Like, my team's been here,
Yeah.
like, I've been here. This is what we've been working for. Well, some of the execs aren't going to be able to make it. They have a big meeting, and they're gonna, they're thinking about just changing the date. And so it like clicked for me at that time. It was like, so everything we're doing here is just not important, right?
Yeah.
Just a cog in a wheel.